Hello to you all. This is the video of my two correlation products which I have for the crypto market. The first one is inspired by the Dominus strategy and it's adapted for 30 minutes, while the second one is inspired by Calculus and it's adapted for 4 hours. I took the main logic from those two strategies, from Calculus and from Dominus, and by adapting on the settings to the BTC, I took all those calculations internally as a logic on these new scripts, and I am plotting them on the different charts which are mostly correlated with BTC. In this case, I run today a series of tests and I end up with a list of 123 pairs correlated with Calculus and 125 pairs correlated with Dominus. In this case, there is no need for optimization. Like I said, all of this has been done for the BTC, and in theory, all these settings are supposed to work with all of these pairs, from here. So the adjustments that needs to be done in the future are going to be on the BTC chart. So if you want to optimize, you optimize on BTC chart, and you are always going to be looking on the BTC chart, and after that you are going to plot all of these settings onto the other assets. In this case, for example, in case of BTC, as I said, let's take for example BTC USD, and I will take it from the index because we have all the history here. And in this case, this data, we can see in the settings that if you want to use just Calculus itself, just Dominus itself, you can see we don't have so many settings like in all the others versions of Dominus, because this one was mainly adapted for the correlation. However, we have a trend rating and we have a side market optimization, and then of course dynamic risk management. So in this case, if you want to use the correlation, you are going to select another asset candle, and in this case you are going to select the pair which we want to correlate. In this case, for example, you can take like I said, BTC USDT, or the other opportunity that you can do is you can use the total amount of candle. Looks like it's taking a little bit to charge. It's normal because all the calculations have been done internally, and yeah, it looks like it's still calculating. So yeah, let's wait for a moment. In the meantime, while it's still calculating, in case of the alerts, for the alerts, we are going to have the usual ones: long and long exit, while short and short exit. I recommend in general, like always, to use the alert on once per bar close in order to avoid repainting. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this one right now. I'm trying to apply it, but looks like it doesn't want to start. Let's put it like this again. Yeah, sometimes it's happening, it's from the framework of trading view. It's not my fault. I can do absolutely nothing about it. So yeah, looks like it started. It's loaded. Yes. So yeah, looks like it's loaded right now. So in this case, for example, yeah, we can see we are using the BTC candle from Binance Broker. We are in this case, on the Bitcoin Cash. But yeah, let's get back to BTC originally. So you can see that yeah, BTC USD. So we have this value. The issue that we have in general when we are using a correlation, or better said, when we are using a security, like for example Heikin Ashi or another candle plot or another asset, the problem is that we cannot use this type of function in the replay. However, since like I said, this Dominus version, it's made for the BTC USD, we can make the testing and see how it performs over the last years. So for example, let's go in the beginning of 2021, which is the first data that we have, and we can see, for example, between 2020 and 2019, this would be the result from 2020 until from 2019 until 2020, and we can see more or less we maintain the same ratio, around 40% profit, 1.4 profit factor, 350% total net profit, and 330 drawdown. Then again, for example, if we are going to go from 2018 to 17, so let's go in 2017. So we can see as well, if we go on this data, you can see that from 2017 to 18 it performed even better, because in 2017 we had the bull year. However, as you can notice, the main profit is going to come from the short during this time. So you can see that since 2017, literally since 2017 until 2022, it maintained, a very profitable. It was profitable during all this time. Anyway, having said that, and I don't think I can go lower than this, but I can try. Yeah, it doesn't allow me to go lower than that. Anyway, having said that, like I said, we have this original, plot on Bitcoin, and with all of this plot, I have adapted, like I said, to this parallels, which I'm going to upload it as well I'm going to put the link in the YouTube as well, so you can check it. So you can see, for example, if I will take any of these assets, except, you can see that if I will just use Dominus itself, without any correlation, we would have only a 20% profit, and we will actually be in negative. So we'll have 65% total net profit and 20% win rate. So we'll actually be in negative with this one. However, once we are going to activate the correlation, you can see the difference. Now we have 150% profit and 50% win rate. The same, for example, if we would go with Ion, we have a total of 2000% over the last 2 years and a 63 drawdown. But if I'm going to deactivate, you can see that we are actually in negative. So you can see that for all these pairs that initially they weren't working, now with the correlation with the Bitcoin, we're going to achieve much greater results. And this is going to happen with all of these pairs from this list. Look, for example, Acro, it works amazingly. We have, however, for some reason, in some places, some big drawdowns. I'm not expecting, I don't understand exactly from where they are coming, but probably because at certain moments, like for example, if we take a trade, you can see that in a trade, because we don't have a stop loss, and the stop loss that we have is coming from the Bitcoin, we have, look, for example, it would have been this trade. So this trade actually happened at the beginning in 1st of January. And unfortunately, when this trade happened, we didn't have, you can see that in January, we don't have the data from it, unfortunately. But in this case, when this trade happened, it wasn't at the beginning when it was first launched, this coin, on the broker itself. So it's kind of normal to have all these variation. However, I like to see in general more for the last, a little bit more than the first month. So yeah, but anyway, you can have a general idea, because we are going to take a look at the entire chart, and you can see initially we were screwed, but after that slowly started to recover. And for example, here as well, you can see that in all of them is kind of the same, except for example in this one, in ARPA, you can see that the 2021, for example, it wouldn't have been a good year. However, after that, for the beginning of this year, it started to recover. But that's the beauty, of having so much pairs, because if you are going to diversify into all of them, in theory, you're supposed to make much more gains than you would make normally just by trading BTC alone, with this product. So yeah, it's going to be up to you if you want to decide to trade all of these pairs, or if you want to know to diversify and use only some of them, or you'll have some criteria. I don't know. It's going to be up to your own personal choice. Having said that, like I said, this is the tactic for the BTC, for BTC 30-minute Dominus. Having said that, now let's go with the other one, because we're going to have, let's say like 30 minutes, it may get, stuck, or I don't know. Because of this amount of time frame, there is a higher possibility that the market cycle tends to change faster. So this type of, for example, of strategy might not work in like some months or something like that. However, if we are going to take a look into something that's have been with a bigger time frame, like for example in this case Calculus, and as you may already know from my premium products, Calculus is my most stable product. It's designed for 3 and 4 hours mainly, 3 hours for ATH and 4 hours for BTC, and it's mainly based on volatility and the volume. So this product already has close to 1.5 years of antiquity since it's already made, and the logic which was created. So having said that, like I said, once again, I decided in the end that, you know, like, why not? I'm going to use this correlation with, you know, with other crypto pairs which are related with, you know, which are following the Bitcoin. And initially I was doing this manually, but then later on I looked more and more into it, and I found out that there are more pairs that actually do that. And I'm applying the same logic like with Dominus, but in this case, instead of using 30 minutes, I'm using 4 hours. For some reason, it looks like again the trading view it's stopped working. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. Yeah, I just have a little bit of patience. I don't know. Before, you know, I was doing all these tests and everything. I had no problem. Now suddenly, it started to make these stuff. Anyway, while it's loading, I'm going to speak a little bit more about the logic. So yeah, if you want to use the product by itself alone, let me remove this for a moment, because it looks like the screen itself, it got it looks like the screen itself, you know, it got okay. I'll just make a new chart. For some reason it got bugged. I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with it. I cannot explain. So yeah, 30 minutes, 4 hours. What is this? BTC 4 hours calculus correlation. Yeah. For some reason it doesn't want to start, and I honestly don't know what's wrong with it. It's not from me, I repeat, it's from trading itself. So we got to have some patience, it looks like. Because for example, even if I disable it, in theory, even if I disable it, it doesn't care. So because for example, if I will take calculus itself normally, even this one, you know, is giving problems. So yeah, it looks like the framework itself from trading you decide just right now when I'm starting to make the video to not function properly. So yeah, I'm sorry for this. I'm going to try with the application for one moment, and if it's working, you know, I'm going to put it but no, I need to log in and I don't know the password right now. So yeah, that's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. Well, looks like Dominus is still working. The problem is but maybe if I add here a new one, like for example, let's add here the 4 hours. Yeah, it looks like for some reason here is being taken. The other one is not being taken. I don't know what's wrong with the other part. I don't understand. So yeah, let's get on with it. Like I said, sorry for these delays. So if you want to use just the calculus itself alone, however, you have to understand that this version is slightly different than the normal calculus version that we have, which was designed for BTC and ATH. But yeah, parts of it, you know, I would say 70-80% of the strategy, it's similar. So in this case, for example, if you don't want to use it, you can just go like this, you know, and don't use any correlation. Look, for example, in this case, for some reason, like ADA, you can see that if you are going to go with ADA, well, in this case, it's actually working much better without correlation than with correlation. But for example, let's take ION, and we can see with ION, with correlation, we would have without correlation, we would have a 65% in negative and a 25% win rate, while if we would use a correlation for the 4 hours, we would go to 53% win rate and 6.5 thousand. And the same, for example, let's take another one. I like Bitcoin Cash a lot. Look, for example, Bitcoin Cash, we have a total of 3.3 thousand and 53% win rate once again. But if we wouldn't use a correlation, we would have only a 40% win rate and 300% total net profit. So it's a huge difference. So once again, we know by taking a look at for example, the BTC itself, and from the BTC itself, we can see that it performed, you know, nicely, you know, over the entire history. There is literally not a single year which has been a negative. And we can consider, you know, all the trades starting from October 2020, more or less like forward trades, because that's when the logic, you know, has been updated. And since then, yes, I agree, I put new risk management, but the initial entry logic is the same. I only change, you know, the type of risk management. Like for example, this option here, or for example, right now we are going to use a multiple logic. But if you use the calculus, this one is the default logic from the beginning. Having said that, you know, let's get back to our calculus correlation for hours. We apply the same mentality like with the 30 minutes, but in this case, for example, you are telling me, oh, I don't want to use 30 minutes because maybe it's too volatile and it's going to change too fast, so I'm going to go with a higher time frame because I also have more amount of data. And I'm like, sure, you can do that. And for example, you're going to find some pairs that are going to perform much better with the 4 hours, and as well some pairs that perform much better with the 30 minutes. You know, you just have to find them. So for this, you know, I'm going to submit the list with the pairs that I have found. You know, with all of this, I'm going to put them in the YouTube link. And yeah, for alert, we have the same way like with the 30 minutes. If we enter here, we have long exit, short exit. And yes, I repeat again, the type of take profit and the stop loss that we have, they are affecting BTC internally. So this type of take profits or stop losses, you don't apply them to the chart, like for example Chile that we have in front of us. We are applying them to the BTC and internally. The same like with Dominus. So yeah, I hope I hope I answer your questions. But still, if you have any doubts or any inquiries, just let me know. You know, in the Telegram. And yeah, I believe this is it. I also, if you want, I'm going to put as well the trading view stream video that I made today, you know, where I was looking with these two products for the entire list of USDT perpetual pairs, and I took out, you know, this one from here, so you can see, you know, how I did that process. And yeah, I hope I answered all the questions. Just to finish, because I believe this one is going to be asked, you are going to ask me this as well later. In terms of the optimization, once again, I repeat, this type of settings that we have here, the volatility settings and the Dominus settings and the sideways, all of them, they are for Bitcoin, for this part from here. So it's all of them are happening with this type of candles. We don't care what we have in front of us. You know. Yeah. I'm sorry, maybe I repeat myself too much, but I already have more than 11 hours straight, you know, working with these two on these two products, you know, to finish them, and I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. In order on how to get access, or if you have any question on traderlive.com, you are going to find all the information. You know, here you can find my Telegram, my Discord, you know, prices and everything that there is to know about all of this. These strategies, unfortunately, they're not being put here, but you can have, for example, you have the Dominus and calculus, for example. So yeah, this one are going to be those, but adapted, like I said, once again to the correlation model. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.